Hello and welcome. This is Mr. Andrews here as we are looking to read together our one book for our one school this year. This year we're going to be looking at the adventures of Zoey and Sassafras, Dragons and Marshmallows. Each night I will be posting a video as we read through our book and going on these fun adventures together.
Chapter 9. Sassafras? I woke up early and reached out to give Sassafras his morning snuggle. His usual spot by my feet was cold and empty. I sat up and looked around my room. No Sassafras? Sassafras! I hollered. Sassafras! Still nothing. He was always here when I woke up. Where could he be? He had to be around somewhere. Maybe he went out to the barn. I quickly threw on a jacket and a hat. It sure was cold out. I opened the barn door and called out, Sassafras, are you in here? Instead of running to greet me, I heard him meow from Marshmallows' pen. I peeked at them. Sassafras, you scared me. What are you doing in here? Were you missing Marshmallows, sweet boy? I held out my hand, expecting Sassafras to come over for his morning cuddles, but he wouldn't budge from the dragon's side. I got closer and put a hand down to pet both Sassafras and Marshmallow. As soon as my hand touched Marshmallow's back, I jumped. It was a block of ice. Why was he so cold? And he wasn't moving. Oh no! Something was really wrong. And then it hit me. Our little dragon was a reptile. How could I have forgotten that reptiles can't make their own heat? I jumped to my feet in search of a heater. Thankfully, a third cabinet I looked in had one. I let out a big sigh of relief. I plugged it in and set it in the pen facing the dragon. I should have remembered this. Only a few months ago, my friend Sophie went on vacation. She had just gotten the sweetest little baby lizard as a pet. I was over the moon excited to watch him while she was gone. When she brought him over, this big lamp thing was resting on top of his terrarium. Sophie told me it was his heat lamp, and she made me pinky promise to be really careful about always leaving it on. I thought that was weird, so I asked her why. He needs something to make him warm all the time. He's cold-blooded, so he can't do it himself, she told me. If you don't plug in the lamp, he can get really sick or die. After Sophie left, I asked my mom to tell me more about what being cold-blooded meant. Reptiles are cold-blooded, Mom told me. Mammals, like Sassafras, and us keep warm using energy from the food we eat. We can even keep ourselves the same temperature by sweating when we are too hot and shivering when we are too cold. We are warm-blooded animals. But reptiles, like Sophie's lizard, can't use food energy to keep themselves warm, she continued. Reptiles can't shiver to warm themselves up either. They are cold-blooded animals. In the mornings, you can often spot cold-blooded animals warming their bodies with the heat from the sun. Once they are warm enough, they slither and crawl or hop away. At night and in the winter, they find caves or burrows or other animals to huddle up with to keep them warm. It's important to keep pet reptiles at a safe temperature using something like a heat lamp. Good thing Mom had a little heater out here in the barn. Now that the pen was nice and warm, the baby dragon started moving a bit. He picked up his head. Phew! I let out a breath I hadn't realized I had been holding. Marshmallow took a few more steps, then stumbled and fell to the ground. He didn't get up. I fixed the temperature I fed him the night before. What could be going on? He let out a heartbreaking whimper and half closed his eyes. Oh no! Was he dying? I didn't know what to do. My heart pounded. I walked one way, then another. I needed something. I needed my mom! Chapter 10. The Call. I ran into the house. At first I went to get my dad, but then I remembered he couldn't help. I took a shaky breath. Then I grabbed the phone and called my mom. I tried not to cry when the phone rang. The call went to voicemail. I couldn't hold it in anymore. Tears ran down my face. The dragon was going to die, and it was all my fault. My dad came running. Zoey, what's wrong? Are you hurt? I wasn't sure what to say that would make sense. Finally, I choked out, I really need to talk to Mom, but she isn't answering. My dad hugged me and sat down with his arm around me. You're really missing her, aren't you? I nodded and tried to stop crying. She's presenting at the conference right now, so her phone must be turned off. Why don't you leave a message? I'm sure she'll call you as soon as the talk is over. Oh no, Mom's talk. It might be hours before she turned her phone back on, and by then it might be too late. I cried harder. I know I'm not Mom, but I could try to help. Can you tell me what made you so upset? If I told Dad about Marshmallow, he wouldn't understand at all. But maybe he could help me with the problem anyway. I was running an experiment where I fed a creature I found in the barn. It ate a bunch of one of the foods I gave it yesterday, and it looked really good when I came in last night. But this morning it seems really sick. It's barely moving. I don't know what's wrong with it. Dad frowned a bit. It's not a wild animal, is it? That could be dangerous. Maybe I should come take a look. No, it's not really a wild animal. It's more of a creature. Mom said it was okay, and I don't think you'll really be able to see it. Dad looked confused. Is it another one of your bug experiments? I hope it's not a spider. I really don't like spiders. I shook my head no. I'm glad you checked with Mom first. Maybe the food you fed it was a little rough on it. Remember how awful you felt when we went camping last summer and you ate way too many s'mores? S'mores? Marshmallows? Too many marshmallows? Maybe that was it. My science experiment showed me what the baby dragon liked to eat, but not what it should eat. What had my parents done to make me feel better last summer? That was one of the worst stomach aches ever. Let's see. Mom lectured me about eating too much sugar, and she had me drink a lot of water and eat a really healthy meal that had no sugar. I needed to give Marshmallow some water and some healthy food right away. I jumped up and dashed to the door. Then I stopped, ran back, and gave my dad a big hug. Thanks, Dad. I think I know how to fix it.
Thank you for going on this adventure with me as we work through our book, Zoey and Sassafras, Dragons and Marshmallows. We'll see you next time.